Hey everybody, welcome to Tasha Journeys Live. I'm your host Tasha. If you're new here, welcome. Before I even get into anything, hit that like button for me right now. Before you watch a few more seconds of the video, hit the like button because I have a very special guest with me today. I have Sondra from Lack to Legacy on. Hi
Hello,
Sondra.
love. Hi, my financial sister, my travel sister. How are you?
I'm good. How are you?
I'm good. I'm great. You'll never hear me complain. This is a good life.
Yeah, you are living the life that I had that I'm gonna go back to. So I'm so glad to have Sandra on today because we're going to be talking about a little bit of travel and investing, and specifically stock investing. Sandra trades stock, which a lot of y'all questions around investing is really trading. So we're going to get into all of that in this live. So make sure you again hit that like button and then hit the share button because a lot of y'all have been hitting the share button and I appreciate it. It's been getting my views up. Facebook, sharing it to Facebook really does help my channel. And I just appreciate it. So anyway, hey Tasha, welcome. Hey Tanya. I'm glad to see y'all on right on time, bright and early. Well, it's not bright and early for me. It is for you. So how are you doing over there in Southeast Asia, somewhere gallivanting?
Listen, this flip schedule is not a joke. So it is 7 p.m. for you, it's 7 a.m. for me. But you could have told me it was 6 a.m. I would have been there because
Okay.
I love you talk money, I talk money. Girls, always a good time. It's always a good time. That's what
Okay.
you
So
it's
one
always a good
thing, no, you're fine. One thing before we get into investing and the stock market and all of that, we not only bond over money, like you said, but travel. And you know what's so funny? I was in Southeast Asia a year ago today. A year ago today, I was in Japan. Oh, I wish I was there. Um, but we were actually missing each other all last year. I remember
yeah.
seeing when you could be in let's say Thailand or Bali or somewhere, I would be have just left. And I'm like, we can literally have the same
We're chasing each other around the world.
yes. So how long have you been traveling for?
I've been out actually over 2 years. So I retired at 50. Girl, where's the time going? I retired right after my 55th birthday. So I never worked a day over 55. And girl, y'all know I'm a granny. I'm 59. They say if a woman will tell you her age, she'll tell you anything. I have nothing to hide. So it's been just under 3 years now. So yeah, it's been a wonderful 3 years too.
And did y'all hear that? She retired early at 55. Now that is goals. I talk about retiring early somewhere on this channel. I just wanted to do the sabbatical first to see if I could really do that. Now that I did that all by myself, I'm like, I know I'm definitely going to retire early. So
But I
let's
want you to go earlier than me. 55 is early, but we can get you out the house even earlier. If we do
okay.
this money thing right, we can get you out even earlier than 55.
So how long so what did that journey look like for you retiring early? Did you figure this out at 51? You wanted to retire at 55? Like, what was that journey like?
You know what, Tasha, to be honest with you, it's a process. I had always, I think I shared with you, I was at one time married to a financial advisor. And
Yeah.
while I did not implement everything he said, I was listening. I've always been that person. So I heard everything that he said. And I was taking notes and I would always put money aside. I always participated in whatever my employer had, and I always did a little bit of something on the side.
Mhm.
So when it came time, as the time was coming up, fortunately for me, this was around the time of the pandemic. And so I was already off and I had come back to work, and my boss, one second, my
Okay.
boss um, asked us something like, where do you see yourself in 5 years? And so very flippantly, but with intention, I wrote down exactly what I dreamt of. for the next 5 years, which was I would be traveling. I did have the only caveat was that I would be traveling with my grandchildren. I wrote down that I would never work a day over 55. Literally, I wrote this down on a post-it note, and that I would retire with my sanity, my health, and my teeth. I was totally flippant, and handed it to her too. And she looked at it. She was like, "No, no, no, seriously." And I was like, "No, that is serious. That is exactly what I want to do." And so I believe, I promise you, in the power of manifesting. So the two things that I think were working for me was that in the back of my mind, I always knew that you needed to prepare. And so I was always doing something, whether it was dabbling in stocks, I purchased my house early. I would do some things differently, but I had enough building blocks in place. And then, along with understanding that mindset is everything. Oh, sis, those two things, planning and mindset, if you can master those two things and marry those two things together. So, even when the naysayers were like, oh, no, you can't leave at 55 because nobody thinks a teacher can really retire at 55. I was like, no, I'm really never going to work a day over 55. And that began the journey. So during the pandemonium, I turned 55. I was like, oh yeah, I'm never going back. Oh no, I'll
Wow.
see y'all on the flip side. And that was the beginning of it. And the rest was just how to, now what do I do? How do I dismount in a way that ensures that everything is secure for me financially, and what is my plan going to be? That was the easy part. The mindset and overcoming naysayers and putting those building blocks into place, that's the heavy lifting. The rest of it on the backside, that was the easy work. Trying to figure out where you're going, oh goodness, that's the fun part. That was the easy piece. That was the easy piece.
Okay, so how many countries have you been to in the last, you said 2 years? You've been traveling almost three?
Oh my God. Just in this year alone, before in the last 12 months, it'll be 10 countries. It's too fast. It's way too fast. I left Mexico and then hit all of the Southeast, I hit the biggies in Southeast Asia. So I
Mhm.
went to Bali, um, Vietnam, Cambodia, Thailand. I'm headed to the Philippines, Japan, and South Korea. Girl, I don't know.
You
I just
been look, you forgot Singapore in there too. I gotta remind you that
went
Singapore.
to Malaysia. I went to Doha. I went to Qatar. After a while, seriously, it's like just throw a dart at the map somewhere in Southeast Asia. I just left Singapore and Malaysia. It was beautiful. So yeah, it's a good life. God has been good to me. I feel so totally blessed.
And I love hearing the story of you retiring early as a teacher. Because I talk about I want to retire early, and some people are like, well, you're single, you don't have any kids, you're a CPA, like you have a great salary and all this other stuff. And some people think if you want to retire early, you have to have an extremely high salary to do it, or live on beans and rice to be able to do it. So I'm glad to hear you say, like, on a teacher salary, I was able to retire early.
You just
Now,
have to be smart and prudent. I mean, because Tasha, I want to put a pin there because I was never the girl. I don't own one Gucci belt. Did not, I made sure I kept my car. I was physically responsible with money. I mean, there were things that I would redo, that would allow me to maximize my salary. But the truth is, I kept my car. I wasn't that girl that switched out a car every 2 years. I lived within my means, basically, which wasn't, that wasn't even beans. I was living really well in Chicago. But I was always mindful. I understood that there was going to come a day when I wasn't going to work. And in order to do that, I needed to be disciplined on the front end. And so it really does take that commitment and discipline and some financial know-how and some financial savvy. Honestly, Tasha, I am a cautionary tale. I could tell you all the things I did wrong because I did so many things wrong. But there were so many, I did enough things. We joked about this. I did enough things right that I was able to leave with like 37 cents extra. I had just enough and a few pennies extra to get outside and play. But it really starts early. It's discipline, it's commitment to the cause of, making financial decisions. And so No, I always lived within my means, and so that was helpful.
Okay, so what are we're going to talk about stocks in a moment, but before we do, I want to share with everyone your mission. You're on this mission right now for Black women to open. You want to have at least 1,000 Black women open up brokerage accounts. Did I get that mission correct?
Absolutely, absolutely. Because I think we both know that the key to this, to financial independence, to retiring early, to financial freedom, you are never going to be able to work your way to wealth. You are never going to be able to save your way to wealth. You are not going to be able to amass enough money to retire early and live the life of your dreams simply by the sweat of your labor. That is not how it works. And I think mainstream culture figured it out. They just forgot to tell us. They didn't want to
Okay.
let us know that, oh, here's how you do it. Investing absolutely has to be a part. Saving, I think most Black folks, we understood savings. My grandmother understood, how to save money, but we were
Mm-hmm.
never taught how to invest money and how to make money work for you. We were taught go to college, work hard, save your
Mm-hmm.
money, and you would be okay. Well, that's only part of the story. The other part of the story is that you need to invest and make your money grow while you're awake, while you're asleep, while you're on vacation. Your money should be working for you. And so my goal is to share that with other women that yes, if we could get 1,000 Black women to open up brokerage accounts and start investing today, I don't care where you are. In your 20s, that's beautiful. In your 30s, girl, you still got time. In your 50s, late. I'm telling you, it's not too late, even into your 60s. Because even if you don't do it for yourself, you're setting the ground floor for the people that come behind you, your children, your grandchildren. So, yep, we're trying to get 1,000 Black women to open up brokerage accounts, and we're here to help.
Okay, so what is a brokerage account? Because we know what it is, but hearing that word is like I do say it a lot on this channel and I explain it, but just
It
re-explain it
sounds
for everyone.
intimidating, does it? But I
It does.
promise you, you all, there are tons of brokerage houses, and you have heard them all. Everyone's heard of Fidelity. Everyone has heard of Charles Schwab, Vanguard. And they have a special account that you can open where you deposit money, capital. You put it there in this account. And from that account, you can buy stocks, ETFs, anything that is tradable, anything that is traded on the stock exchange, you can do a transaction from that account. But not only do they hold your money and keep it safe for you so that you can purchase stocks whenever you're ready, some of these accounts have like a built-in savings component. While that money is sitting there, some of these accounts will actually pay you interest. So the money isn't just sitting there not earning. It's constantly earning, whether your money is tied up into particular stocks, equities, or if it's just sitting there waiting for you to deploy on a good buy, that money is still earning interest. And so it's so much better than any savings account that you could have. The interest rate is generally better than everybody knows savings accounts aren't paying you anything. Well, you could get a high yield savings account,
Yeah.
but a brokerage account is an account specifically for investing from. You can trade from that, and there are different types of brokerage accounts. You can even set one up for underage minors as well. So, yes, and easy to open. Many of them, Tasha, did you know you can open them up with no money? See,
Yes. Oh, I'm gonna say, no, I didn't know that. Tell me more.
no money. So, I mean, the barrier of entry is so low, you all. I think in the past, when we heard brokerage, or we would think broker, you think stockbroker is for a rich person. You would get on your phone and call your stockbroker. No, no, everyone should be investing, number one. Everyone should have a brokerage account. And from that account, you can purchase any, come check us out over from Lack to Legacy. We will get you straight on,
Yes.
we do a whole class on how to invest. But yes, a brokerage account is nothing to be intimidated by. It is a very fancy savings or checking account where you can actually have that money sit when you're ready to purchase. It's there and you can execute from that account.
And Sandra's channel is showing right on her name, From Lack to Legacy. And I want to drop so one before I drop, while I'm looking, and I'm gonna drop your booking link in the chat. I'm not sure. I see Marilyn in here. She be on it, so I haven't seen it in there yet. But I'm gonna drop it in here because if you are really looking to get into investing in the stock market, individual investing, index fund investing, all it investing in the stock market and taking it up a notch and actually trading, this is the woman you want to talk to. I also love that on your channel, Sandra, that you share free resources. So,
A-
what are some good free resources that I know you share, but you want to share a couple of them?
Absolutely. My whole goal is to give it all to you for free. And that's the
Yes.
truth. Because when I say to you that you can open up a brokerage account with no money, that's Fidelity, Charles Schwab, those two for sure. I'm pretty sure Weibo, which, I am not a fan of those online. Weibo's good. Robinhood is probably not my favorite. They've had a couple missteps in the past. Plus, I like a full service brokerage with a full service platform so that you can not only invest, but educate yourself. So those are free to begin. Both of those two in particular, Fidelity and Charles Schwab, offer free classes for everything. I mean, trading options. If you want to trade Forex, if you want to invest in singular stocks or ETFs or mutual funds, you index funds, you name it, they have a class. Not only do they have classes online, they have a whole suite of classes on YouTube, so you can tap into their YouTube channels. So that's if you're interested in investing. But if you're interested in trading options or learning how, and I would suggest anybody that is interested in trading options, absolutely get some training before you even dabble there, because those are high risk kind of investments, or they're riskier. But there's two organizations, the OCC, the Options Clearing Count, is it the Options Clearing Council, and the OIC, the options clearing. Maryland, you know what to do. But you can go to the OCC, and the OCC will link you to OCI because they're linked together. One is their education component, but it's the Options Clearing Council. And from there, you will be linked to all of their free classes. And I'm telling you, everything is free. All of it. They give it away. So I want you to know, if that's what you're into, if you're interested in learning, there are free resources. You don't have to go out initially and plunk down thousands of dollars like I did and was sitting in the class and everything. Don't I would definitely suggest that you get a little bit under your belt, know the vocabulary, understand the big concept, understand what a trading platform, how it moves and how it operates. You can do that with them, or you can actually do that with us over from Lack to Legacy. We hook you up as well.
Okay, so you said a whole lot, and if you missed any of that, that's why you need to make sure you subscribe to From Lack to Legacy, because literally Doctor's YouTube page is like Facebook. When I'm on scroll on you on YouTube, I'm gonna see a post from you like from a free class. It's Fidelity. It's a constant reminder. So there's really no excuse for you to start today. Like when this live is over, click and see when the next free session is with Fidelity. I always promote on this channel to get comfortable with the vocabulary. When I'm talking about even saying brokerage accounts, or if I'm talking about index funds or mutual funds, it's like, oh, I don't know these words, and I'll just pay somebody to do it. That's you have to understand the basics of these words. Even if you hire someone to do it, you should still understand the fundamentals. So again, make sure you go to fidelity.com or charleschwab.com to see when their free trainings are. And I've also mentioned this, which y'all know I'm about to say, the 401k.
Yeah.
Q2 is upon us. And I said, your employer, they have the training sessions for you to understand the basics of your 401k. Make sure you attend those so you understand where your money is going in your 401k. Okay. You were about to say something.
Education. I'm a retired teacher, so we're definitely going to push education, financial education for sure. But all of those resources, like you said, Fidelity, Charles Schwab, the OCC, absolutely free classes, and YouTube University is always there.
Yeah, so let's get into I'm gonna ask a common question that I used to get. I it's bonus time. It's tax refund time. Well, a lot of people already got a tax refund on top of February, but you know what? I just want to do something with my $1,000. I want to flip this real quick. How can I turn this $1,000 into $2,000? I want to really invest. And what should I do? What do you? How do you respond to
You know, anytime somebody approaches me like that and they say fast and quick, I'm like, I am not the girl for you.
that?
This is not get rich quick. And anyone who uses that language and anyone who guarantees you a rate of return, anybody can guarantee you run because for sure in the stock market and in for real investing, time is your friend, discipline, consistency, and those are the opposite of fast, quick, and flip. They're the actual antithesis. And so when I hear those words, I really try to assess, is this somebody who really just doesn't understand, or are they really looking to get rich quick? Because if you're really looking to get rich quick, then I'm definitely not the girl for you. But if it's just that you don't know and it's just a misconception that you think that you can take $1,000 and turn it into $2,000 like it's magic, I'm not a magician either. The stock market is not
But I
magic.
saw, but I saw it on TikTok. Yes, I can. I can turn this $1,000 into $2,000 by the end of next Friday.
Run, run. Because what you could really do with that money is one, I would always say invest in yourself, invest in your education. You're probably a lot better off if you're serious about this. First, tap into free resources. And then once you've exhausted that, it's never a bad idea to invest in yourself. Take a class, take a paid class. Be careful even there because it shouldn't cost you $5,000, $10,000, $12,000 to learn this game. I promise you it doesn't. And so I would start there. First of all, there is no get rich quick. But what we will do is show you where you can get into a good fund, a good index fund, a good ETF. We can talk about how to evaluate a company so that you're picking good stocks. We're talking about tried and true. We don't do penny stocks. It's not, I have nothing against penny stocks. Don't get me wrong. I'm sure for somebody they work. But no, we're talking about blue chip companies and how do we really get into the stock market for one, investing long term. Tasha, I think that everybody should be an investor. I'm not so sure that everybody should be a trader because trading is a whole different skill set. And when I tell you it requires not only discipline and training, but you have to have the right mindset. You really do. Investing is a little more forgiving because you've got time and we aren't talking about flipping money in and out. The more transactions you do with trading, the more times you open yourself up to risk, it can get pretty dicey. So everybody should be an investor. There shouldn't be a person who can hear this interview that should not be thinking, how can I invest for the long term? So investing is your long-term plan, whereas trading is more of your short term. How do we generate income on the short term?
And I'm so glad you explained that towards the end. Trading versus investing, because a lot of people confuse the two and think investing is I'm going to put my money in, I'm going to pull it out, I'm going to buy Apple stock today and I'm going to sell it next month or whatever. And if you are not a trader, and you're looking to invest, it's two different things. So before we get into breaking that down, I want to back up a little bit. When you had said that you retire early, if you're just joining, make sure you hit that like button. But Sandra was telling us how she retired at 55,
Yeah.
former school teacher, and you said that you had a little bit of extra, but you had been disciplined and been doing something along the way. So, what did that look like? Were you buying individual stocks while you were preparing for retirement? And if so, did that help you get your nest egg, or is that just something you're still having growing in the background right now?
You know what, Tasha? I did a little bit of everything. I was always curious about money. So yes, when Robinhood came out, girl, I was a first adopter. I was on it trying just like everybody else. I had always in I think one of the good things that I can say about the district that I worked for, there was always someone there. You nailed it. You said, pay attention to those meetings. There was always someone in the teacher's lounge talking about this fund, invest in this. You need a 403B, whatever it was. I would always pop in. I'm like, okay, even if I wasn't going to act on it, I just wanted to know. So I would always say, take advantage of those employer plans first and foremost. They're right there. And so I always did that. That was the base. I brought a home early. I mean, my kids were very young, and buying a piece of property, the market happened to be great. Some lucky things happened. I won't even say lucky. I was fortunate that I did all of those things early on, investing with my work plans, making sure I put money aside for those things. I didn't care what it was. If it was something new, I would try it. I would put a little money over to the side. Then buying a piece of property, making sure that I never took anything, never tapped into the equity, never pulled anything out of that house, just allowed it to appreciate over time. Again, lived within my means. And then on the side, I would always trade in and out stocks. And so, like when Tesla hit, I was right there. Are you kidding me? I was buying individual stocks. And so I did a little bit of both. I did the long-term investing, but I kind of got the trade bug before options even came along. I was trading in and out of stocks, simple things that I understood. I understood what Tesla was. I knew what Apple was. And so those things, I never really did anything risky. That just wasn't my style. I'm still that way. I'm very risk averse. And so I would start very small, girl, seriously trading and just seeing what I could do. And they weren't big gains. I was never that girl either. I was never trying to chase down like $1 million. I just wanted to see if I could make it work. And when I figured out, I was like, wait a minute. I can remember actually having a $1,200 day. And the first time I had a $1,200 day, I was like, oh, baby, it's on. This is a wrap. Well, this is a wrap. We gonna roll with this one. I mean, that's not typical, but that just seeing the power. I think I invested that day in three different stocks. Tesla was one, and Tesla ran up the chart, and I was like, okay, I'm snatching this money off the table. Snatched it off the table. I wasn't trying to be greedy, put that money to the side. And I realized, oh my goodness, if I can repeat that, not even to that magnitude, but if I can repeat that and then use that money to invest again, not go spend the money, not go have a party because we just came into, a windfall. It was, let me use that as seed money. And now I'm going to try to invest and find another good company that I can do that. And then it was never those $1,200 days. That was a banner day.
Okay.
But it was good to have $100 day. That's still money. Base hits count in investing and trading. Base hits count. It doesn't always have to be a home run. So that little bit of money, that gave me the incentive. Once I saw it, and I think once people see it, especially Black women, once you teach a sister something, oh my goodness, girl, not only is she going to do it and replicate it and perfect it, but she's going to teach it to somebody else. And so that's why I'm so passionate about it. And I appreciate you having this forum, Tasha, so that we can talk about it, because we need to have these conversations.
No, you said so much in there in that answer. So I'm about to rewind it for y'all because Sondra said something key before she started buying the individual stocks. So this would be Apple, Home Depot, Tesla, whatever company. We'll talk about blue chips and all that stuff in a second as well, because Sondra did mention that. And you may be like, "What's a blue chip?" We're gonna talk about that in a second. But she said that she had her long-term investing plan set. So this means that if you want to do something risky, such as buy individual stock, she didn't say, "Oh, I was budgeting my money and I just put everything into buying all these little stocks on the side." No, she was already having like a long-term investing plan, because when you buy individual stocks, and especially if you trade, which means you buy and sell them within a short period of time, but it could be that same day, within the week, that is trading. That is not investing. Investing is when you put your money up for, I always say, at least 3 to 5 years, you would not miss that money in 3 to 5 years. So if you don't have that in a long-term investing plan, I do not suggest that you start investing in individual stocks, starting to look and see Googling what company is on the rise, that's not a
Mm-mm.
smart decision to make.
No,
So
ma'am.
I also want to, you said you got started with Robinhood in the pandemic with buying individual stocks, right? And then you
Yeah.
also mentioned that you love Fidelity and Charles Schwab, a full service brokerage firm, and not so much Robinhood. Did you want to share why you made the switch from Robinhood individual investing and then actually moving over to a full service brokerage?
I think when you know better, you do better. Robin Hood, do you all remember the whole debacle with GameStop when they actually stopped the trading day?
Yeah.
Anybody that will use that platform or use their platform that way, where at a whim, they decide, well, we're going to stop investors from trading and having access to the market. I don't trust you anymore. I don't want any part of it because if you've done it before, you could do that again. And so it didn't strike confidence in me. But I think everybody has to start somewhere. And I started just like everybody else. One thing about Robinhood and those phone apps, for me, it feels like they gamify investing. They
Mhm.
oversimplify it. They make it so easy to get in and out of a trade that you may or may not understand the risk and the implications. And so I think they've gotten better. And so, to their
Mhm.
defense, I think they've gotten better. But what I do appreciate about Charles Schwab and Fidelity is that you have an entire platform, a fully developed platform for investors and traders. These are professional people. We're using the same platform that the professionals use. And with that, there's a built in education component because those big brokerage houses, they don't want you going broke. They really they want you to be successful. And so you'll find that you've got 24-hour support, you have an education component, you have a full service platform. And so for me, they offer an entire suite of services. Not just the services, but they back it up. If you have questions, they're more than happy to help. They will lead you to classes as well. And I didn't find that early on with Robinhood. It really was literally pick up your phone. You could look at
Mhm.
a chart, maybe, but there wasn't the support there. I don't even know if you can still get anybody on the phone at Robinhood. I know early on I could never get anybody on the phone. That's not going to work when you really are trying to learn the game of investment. You're not just jumping in and hoping, because hope is not a plan. That's not a plan.
No.
No, we want to educate you. I think Tasha and I both share this mission in that we understand the value of financial literacy. So I don't want you thinking that just because Nvidia is hot, it's a good idea to go buy Nvidia stock. Not really. Not so much, because there's a way to get in, there's a time to get in, there's a way to get out, and a time to get out. And if you don't know that, you're basically just throwing a dart. That's the worst way to do it. And what will happen, and I've seen this so many times, is the first time you have a substantial loss, and you will lose money if you don't know what you're doing. There's risk involved. You'll lose money and you'll be discouraged. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh, the game is rigged. No, not so much. But you do have to know what you're doing. I think that's how you ensure success, is being educated in the stock market, understanding all those financial concepts before you go in.
Thank you for dropping in the chat. Sugar and money. I'm just saying, showing everyone who's dropping in some love. Very inspiring. Yes, her journey is very inspiring. Tanya. Um, hey Ruth King. Hey Marilyn. So we say hi to y'all already. We just want to show acknowledgement on the screen, and also make sure if you have any questions as we're talking, make sure you drop them in the chat so we can answer them. So I want, you said Tesla, Nvidia. So Sandra's been naming actual companies and stocks. So before that, I just want to remind everyone that a stock means ownership in a company. So when we're talking about that, that means you want to purchase in the company. That means that the company does good. That means you have a chance of your earning, like what you bought in at. Let's say you bought Apple at $100, and if Apple releases some other groundbreaking technology and the market, us, you and I, everyday consumers, start saying how great Apple is doing, the stock price goes up to 125, to 150, to 200. Now, when you buy that $100 and you hold it, you're not making any money until you actually sell it. So you have to make decisions when you are investing in the stock market. But again, if you're investing, you're not buying a stock and looking at it every day. If you're doing that, you're trading. So
Mhm.
Sandra is talking about, she mentions Tesla and Nvidia, that she's purchased. When you made your first few purchases, you mentioned Tesla on Robinhood. How did you find individual companies that you wanted to invest in?
I don't even want to tell anybody what I used to do in the beginning because it was the worst. It was the actual word. And so I'm just going to tell you all the truth. This is the truth. And this is why I do not like Robinhood. Literally, Tasha, I would look at my phone in the morning. And at that time, they didn't have a full on platform where you could look at a chart. And if even if they did, I wouldn't have known how to read it. But what they did have was this little squiggly line that was either green if the stock was going up or red if the stock was going down. Literally, you all, this is what I did. And I'm telling you, this is why I don't like Robinhood. I would look at my phone in the morning and I would like, well, it's going up. Oh my God. And I would pick a stock. I promise you, I had enough sense not to throw a lot of money in there, but in the early stages, I was basically on Robinhood guessing. I was listening
Mm-hmm.
to what other people were doing. I mean I knew enough to do some research, but I did not know how to for real do fundamental analysis. There's a actual process, you all, that you go through before you purchase a stock. I wasn't doing that. Girl, I was on Robinhood looking for the green line that was going up. And I figured I could ride the trend up. I cannot tell you how many, thank God it wasn't thousands of dollars, but it taught me early on that's not the way you invest. I was not very successful. And so I was like, okay, this is not working. This looking at this little green squiggly line is clearly not enough information. And so that led me to, I was like, okay, I need to figure this out because I know that I can be profitable, but the key is going to be understanding how to pick a stock, how to pick a good company. And that's called fundamental analysis, where you actually go in and you look at the CEO of the company. You look at their balance sheets. You want to know what the public sentiment is about that company. It's a whole process. I mean, and it can be done. You and I can do it. Somebody can teach you how to analyze a company to see if it's healthy enough and what their short-term and long-term prognosis is. Are they investing in innovation? Is this company stagnant? You can look at their chart over the last 20 years. So that I had none of that at my disposal when I was looking at my little phone on Robinhood. And so that's, I don't want anybody to think that it is that simple because it isn't. It's certainly something that you can learn and we can master without a doubt. But Robinhood for me gamifies and it oversimplifies and it kind of gives you this false sense of knowing and security. And so I try to steer people away from that and more toward full service brokerages that allow you, they have all of the tools, they have all of the things that you need to become a better investor. And good investors understand the difference between fundamental analysis, which is the research, and then you need a technical analysis piece as well. How do you read that chart? And I didn't find any of that support on Robinhood. I'm sorry, y'all. So I hate to bust y'all bubble. Get off Robinhood. Get off Robinhood. Get your full service broker.
No, so I'm glad you shared that. Listen, we learn from other people's mistakes, right? So I'm glad you were honest and sharing. Like I was just picking what I saw the green, and honestly, that's what people do when it comes to investing or they're baby stepping into trading because you hear on the news, you'll see the headlines, you'll see on your phone, you get notifications, the market's doing good. And so it's like, oh my God, I gotta buy. And then you may see a talking head on the news saying, okay, everybody invest in Weight Watchers because Ozempic is there. You know what I mean? I'm just thinking of a recent one that I heard. I always tell people once it hits the media, it's already too late. If you were looking to get that huge A's blow up like in the tech.com boom or in even recently like with Tesla, once it hits mainstream news, I mean you could still have some luck, but in my opinion, the what you've missed
It's
the
already
real
popped.
way. Yeah.
Tasha, they call that dumb money. They have a term for it. They call that dumb money because here you are, like you said, coming at the end of the trend because you heard it on the news. No, there's a better way to find a good company, and that's where you do the research yourself. And you're looking at a company's financials and you're looking at their balance sheet and you're looking to see the room for growth. Where have they been? What has this stock priced at in the past? What's the potential? Where is it in the process? And so that is all stuff that we in our learning community, we're doing it together. Listen, I didn't come from a financial background. You all know I'm a retired teacher. So I
Mhm.
wasn't technically trained in finance, but I'm telling you, if you are the smartest person in your group, girl, you need a new group. I surrounded myself with women who knew more than me. That's the key. And so that's what we've been able to build at From Lack to Legacy too, is a learning community with women from all different backgrounds. They come from tech, they come from education, they come from finance, and we come together and we knowledge share. That's what
Yeah.
I'm really inviting women in. Not only open up the brokerage account, but get connected with women or anybody for that matter. But I mean, it's so much fun. It's so much more fun when you do it with your sisters. I promise you it is.
Yeah.
We not only talk about money, but we laugh and joke. We talk about everything, but we do it together collectively and we knowledge share. And it absolutely is the difference between it may take you 6 months to get a concept financially or how to research something. You could speed that time up 6 weeks because your sister's gonna tell you all the answers to the test. She's like, girl, no, don't do that. Don't do that one. I did that before. I did that dumb. And we are so transparent in that community. We don't judge. It's really a judgment-free zone because that allows us to share our mistakes. Nobody is there trying to cloak, like, girl, I got it all figured out. Nope. We all talk about the time we let all that money sit in an account, not even earning interest. And so we share that so that our sisters coming behind us don't make the same mistakes.
Okay, so Sandra is really sharing how amazing it is to be in her community. She has her not only she's encouraging once 1,000 Black women to open up brokerage accounts, but also like I don't know. Is it still free Wednesdays? The
Actually, there's a whole process. You have to sign up for a one-on-one because I really do need to make sure that you
okay,
have a brokerage account. I need to make sure that your platform is set up right. And we want to make sure that your mindset is in the right place. Because if you're not ready for it, if you really think it's get rich quick, this is not the community for you. And I want to steer those people who understand that this is a long-term commitment. We're investing. We do have a trading component, but primarily now we focus on investing. And so, yeah, you do have to schedule a one-on-one to come into this community. Because I hate to say it, we don't gatekeep any information, but I watch who's coming through that gate
ah,
because it
I'll blame you.
it matters. It matters. Yeah. So the ladies that you would be in community with, they're in it to win it. They are in it to win it. And these sisters are smart. And I enjoy every Wednesday. So we do meet every Wednesday, but you do have to schedule a one-on-one to
Okay,
get to those
I'm like I'm
sessions.
cheering. I'm like, wait a minute, is that wait?
We
Well, I think
started out social. We did a whole year for free. I'm telling you, God, good. We did. So, the price today is not going to be the price tomorrow.
I,
We did a whole year for free,
I
and then
understand.
at the top of the year, we kind of switched up the business model. And so I'm telling y'all better come on and get in because it's still very reasonably priced. And tomorrow, next year's price will not be this year's price. I'm telling you now, because the better we get at implementing this thing, it takes time because I do have to prep. We prep for those sessions. It's not just show up, but we have a topic for that week. We have lots of resources there. So yeah, there's value there and value costs.
So the first step into getting into Sandra's community is booking a one-on-one because I'm with you. I believe mindset matters. You want to be welcoming the right people within the community that's going to actually give and take, not just taking, and then not really doing nothing, just sitting there. So
Yeah.
I definitely understand. But if you're just joining, we still have some. We still gonna be talking for a few more minutes. So make sure you hit that like button and the replay game. Please show me some love in the comments by just saying what you learned from the video. It does help my video get out to more viewers. And just again, reminding you all, investing versus trading. We're talking more about the trading side of things right now on this half of the live. But investing again is when you want to see your money grow over a long term, at least 3 years. I would say 5 years. Trading is when you're buying something, you want to see you want to see that return, same day, within a few days or a week. That is trading. And I do not recommend trading unless you have an investment plan. That means I talk about positive net worth on this channel. That means you have a plan, you're working, and you're not just jumping in with trading because you will stress yourself out. So
Yeah.
Sandra talked about fundamental analysis is very important when trying to figure out what company you want to buy individual stock in. I always suggest, like when I'm teaching to students, because that's what I do. Financial Gardens, side little plug. If you're watching, if you are in Detroit area, I need y'all to know about this amazing event. I done forgot about this tonight, but plug in my own thing. If you are in Detroit, whether you have a teenager, you know some teenagers, or you are a teacher and you work with youth, I need you to head over to financialgarden.com, and I'm going to show that on the screen in case you don't understand what I'm saying to you, and register your teenager for a free financial literacy event. Financial Garden is my nonprofit where I teach students kindergarten through 12. All this information that me and Sandra talking about, I or a teacher goes into a classroom and teach a curriculum that I created. And we are going to be at the Detroit Public Library next Saturday from 10 a.m. to 2:30 p.m. teaching teenagers how to avoid debt, how to build their credit. High schoolers, before they hit college, they're going to be learning all this from Financial Garden. It's free food, it's prizes, it's giveaways. So make sure you go to financialgarden.com to register and learn more. And most importantly, share that information. If you are on this live right now and you're in the Detroit area, make sure you share that. Okay. Anyway, I had to go ahead and plug.
All about that, Tasha. Are you kidding? A retired teacher and you're teaching children? Yes, that's where it starts. I'm telling you, we would be so much better off and so much further along had we started, all of us, had we started in kindergarten, just talking
Yes,
about how to have money. So I applaud you, sister, in the mission.
thank
I
you,
need to
thank
be
you.
keeping that out.
Yeah, you know what? I'm going to actually make a post on YouTube because it's coming up. It's next weekend. It's been a long road getting all this stuff together. But I wanted to take a moment to talk more about the trading side. And you talked about, doing fundamental analysis. I always say, look around your house. What products are you buying? When you have that shampoo bottle, who makes that shampoo? Is it Procter and Gamble? It may be your favorite. You may see a name and you may say, oh, it's Shea Moisture or it's Mayo. They sold them companies. So who's the parent company of the products you're using in your
Mhm.
refrigerator? Who's making the food that you're using? I always say by flipping over a condiment or whatever, see who it is, Google that company and see what their stock price is, see what they're all about. That's how you can get started. Where do you shop the most? If you're seeing all these people flipping homes, where are they buying these materials? Is it Home Depot? Is it Lowe's? So while we're talking about Tesla and Nvidia right now, think about those companies that you do know. And when you start on a rabbit hole of investing, just seeing what the stock price is, what is the public perception of that company, you can start applying that to other companies that you hear about, um, in general. So I want to ask you now about trading. What does that look like? So if you buy a stock that you from a company that you see is on the rise, what does it look like when you're trading, like in the trading platform? Or just give us a little bit more information about that.
Okay. Tasha, you can trade anything, but most often when people think of trading, they think of stocks, options, forex, cryptocurrency, commodities. Girl, you could trade horses if you could find somebody to trade with you, but you can trade anything because trading is
So,
simply it's just that.
hold on, I gotta say, like, my uncle, that man been trying to get me to buy a horse for years. It's his birthday, so happy birthday, Uncle James. I told y'all it's somebody's birthday every day in my family. My family is so huge. That man has been trying to get me to buy a horse. He got a farm and horses. So yes, people be trading horses. When you said that, I had to interrupt, but go ahead.
Trading is a real thing, girl. This is really real. America capitalism is alive and well. We can
Yes,
trade anything. And trading is a more short term. It's still investing, don't get me wrong. But when we talk investing, we're talking about long term. Tasha nailed it. We're talking about 3 to 5 years. It's not, it's, we say set it and forget it. You set it and forget it, in that you're not looking at it every day, but you still keep your eye on it, because even a
Mhm.
long-term investment, even with long-term investing, sometimes we rebalance our portfolios. Maybe something that was performing well for the first 3 years has, maybe the profit has started to wane, and you might want to reallocate that money into another investment that is doing better. But that stuff stays there. We're not looking at it every day. We're not trying to get in and out of that position. That's long term investing. And I promise you, everybody needs to do that. Everybody should be an investor. Trading, on the other hand, is a more short term kind of in and out. And this, I promise you, is not for everybody. Everybody should not be a trader, especially if you're talking about trading stock options. So let's start there. You can trade regular singular stocks. You can actually go out and buy Google in the morning. If you think that there's going to be a big move in the market, maybe they have an earnings report, or they came out with some wonderful innovation, or something that's going to, a catalyst that's going to move the market. You can actually buy an individual stock in the morning and sell it at the end of the day. That's trading. So you have a couple kinds of traders. You have scalpers, and scalpers are people that get in and out of the market. I'm talking about lickety split. They are in the morning generally, and they're out within an hour. They're not playing around. That's precision. They're looking for momentum in the market. They're looking for a price to either spike up or spike down in the case of options trading. But they're looking for instant, momentum. Something happened in the market, or they understand how the stock moves. A scalper is in and out in less than an hour generally. Then you have day traders who open up a position sometime during the day, and before that trading day is done, they close out that position. That's a day trader.
I
Yes.
got a question. What's the position?
A position is just that's just trader talk. So your position, if I know Nvidia is going to make a big move, I want to go buy 3 contracts. That is called your position. It's what you're holding is called your position. So
Okay.
whatever it is you're holding is your position, and you can hold your position for 15 minutes scalping. You can hold it for less than the trading day. A trading day is about 6 hours. You in and out, you sell your position at the end of the day. That's day trading. Or you could be a swing trader who holds a position overnight. You could hold it as long as 2 months. Still, but your intention is never to own it. Your intention is only to capitalize on any kind of appreciation in the price and get in, get that profit, and get out. There are also swing traders that trade even a little more long term than that. But traders are not in the business of owning whatever it is they're trading. They are there to make the money, snatch the money off the table, and get into something else. So that's the difference between trading. In investing, you own that company. You believe in that company. You want to see it grow. You have faith that it's going to grow, and you're following that. That's a long term investment. Trading is that, girl, we do not care who's the company head. We do not care. We just don't care. We don't need to know your fundamentals. I'm I'm just looking at that chart. I'm looking at what is this price going to do in my 15 minutes? What is this price going to do in this trading day? What is this price going to do over the next 2 months? That is short term, somewhat speculative, because none of us have a crystal ball. We can't
Mhm.
tell what the market is going to do. But because you've studied that chart, this is where you do your technical analysis. Because you've studied that chart, you have a thesis that this is what price is going to do, and I'm going to capitalize on that, and I'm out of there. I don't ever want to own the company. I just want to make the money and get out. So trading, when I say it's a different skill set, it's a totally different skill set. Not only is it a different skill set, it's a different mindset. You must be disciplined. You must be fluid. You can't get too attached to it. It is totally different from investing. You cannot get too attached to a position, because if it changes, you got to change. If the trade goes against you, you got to get out. You can't be like, oh goodness, I'm a hold and hope it turns. No. If it's wrong, it's wrong. If you were wrong in your thesis, you were wrong. Get in, get out, minimize your losses. And so that's a whole nother set of skills. And I say this: do not enter trading lightly. It's just not for everybody. I think I've seen more people lose money trading than investing easily. Investing is less risky. Trading in itself, just there's some implicit risk there because you're in and out so many times. Every time you're in and out, you're risking your capital, and you have to understand risk to reward. How much are you putting up for the what you're expecting to get out? And so that's not necessarily something that you would be looking at every day with a long-term investment. But every trader has to understand risk to reward management. There's so many pieces, moving pieces to trading. And that's why I say, it's not for everybody. If you are depressed, if you and your husband have problems, you do not want to enter into a trade, because I'm telling you, all of that stuff you bring to that trade with you. You're either motivated to stay in for the wrong reasons, or you're skittish and you're jumping out for the wrong reasons. No, trading is for the mentally well. It is for the you really do have to study that game. That would be my advice to anybody. And so I really try to focus on the investing first. Get that settled. And then if you want to learn to trade, we can help you get there. And then, Tasha, what we do with that money that you make from trading, we invest that. So the thing is full circle. So you get your
Okay.
investment in place. You learn to trade. Trade, you're generating income daily, or, in the short term, maybe you've got a position you hold for a couple of weeks in terms of swing trading. But when you get that money, we put that back into the long-term stuff, into the investment. And I promise you, it just compounds. It's a beautiful thing if you can work both of those together.
I always like to talk real numbers. So, a couple things I want to back up. How much should a you? Oh, we already answered that question. You can open a brokerage account for $0.
$0.
Um, $0. How much if I'm like, oh, you know what? I've been watching Tasha Journey, so I got a positive net worth, and now I'm ready to trade. So, how much? And I'm like, I'm still a little nervous. Can I start day trading with $100, $200? Like, what can I start with day trading? How
You
much money I
absolutely
need?
can. You absolutely can. And this is what I advise. But even before we move to the money, there is any good platform will have a simulated trading component where you can paper trade with fake money. I think anybody who learns to trade and you throw your cash on the table, I think you're crazy. The first thing you need to do is paper trade. You need to find a strategy. You need to find a strategy that works, that proven strategy, whether people can trade a breakout, which means price is doing this and then suddenly price spikes. That's a breakout. Or people can trade stock options, and when they know that a price is falling, you purchase a put. Whatever your strategy is, you can do credit spreads. There are tons of strategies. It should be proven before you put real money on the table. And by
Mm-hmm.
that, I mean, you should be in your simulated trader, your trading platform, and you should be able to do that thing 7 times out of 10 times and be successful minimally. If you can't reproduce that thing 70% of the time, I wouldn't call that a winning strategy. I don't want it. Would you trust somebody who couldn't do something 70% of the time? Would you trust your doctor if his surgery isn't successful 70% of the time? No,
No.
sir. In fact, I'm gonna need you to be 95% sure, sir. You come over here messing with me. And so the same thing is true with trading. This is not hit or miss, guess, hope. It's none of that. That's why when they say 95% of traders lose their money, that's who they're talking about. That's the dumb money they're talking about. No, we paper trade. That's the first thing you need to do. Paper trade. Find a strategy that you can replicate with some degree of certainty, and that minimally you can get that strategy to work for you 70% of the time. Once you have done that and you know you can do that, then I say start tiny. I say start small. You can, with $100, you can trade Ford contracts. You can get a Ford contract for somewhere between $20 and $40. Start small. You're not going to see like $1,000 return on a small position like that, but you get the feel for what it feels like with real money. Ford is one of the stocks that I like to recommend for anybody who's transitioning from your simulator. Try Ford because it moves slowly. It's a, Ford's a tried and true company. You know it's going to be there. They're not going to fold in the morning. And you can watch how, if price goes up by 1 penny, how does that impact your profit? If price goes up by a nickel, because Ford ticks just that slow. I would not tell anybody to jump in with a Tesla, Nvidia. They're very volatile. They move too quickly. You can make money quickly, but you can lose money just as quickly. So yes, you don't need a ton of money to start investing. You don't need a ton of money to start trading. And I would suggest that path. Start with your paper trading and then go to something that's really manageable. $100, $500 tops. And then you make that $100 grow. If you can make that $100 grow, then you can make $1,000 grow. But what you don't want to do is start out with $10,000 and you have a bad trade. You lost 10 grand. Excuse me? Ab-
You don't. And even more, I want to just reiterate this: it's bonus time for people who getting bonuses. This is not the time to take half your bonus if that's $5,000 to and start. I'm going to start trading stock because I feel like I'm going to be able to make money faster. And you may not even intentionally know you're trading. So let me again remind you, and me and Sandra said it. If you purchase the stock and you are planning to hold it and be a true owner and see what it does over time and not make money this year on it, meaning you have to sell the stock to make money, that means you at least you are baby stepping into investing. But if you're buying a stock and you're like, I want to make money now, that means you're trading, whether you know it or not.
I-
And so we're both saying we don't recommend you do that with that much money off rip, and you definitely need to start with a simulator. The market is
Mhm.
not going nowhere, y'all. It's not like, oh, I gotta do it right now. Oh, I'm gonna do it right now.
I say that all the time. And I'm telling you, that's how you know your mindset. If your mindset is, if you don't understand that this market's been going on for 30, 40, 50, 60, for you, it's not going anywhere. The US economy is not going anywhere. I promise you, the market is going to be open 5 days next week and the 5 days the following week. And if you can't wait, if that's a lack of discipline. If you can't delay gratification, these are things in mindset you need to work on. And they don't bode well for traders. If talk to an experienced trader and they will talk to you about patience, discipline, consistency. You are a technician. That is a whole different skill set. And I'm just scratching the surface because you have to study. I don't trade every day. As a matter of fact, I haven't been trading for a while because I don't have time to study my chart. I have to plot, support, resistance. I have to understand technical analysis for sure. And if you don't have time to do that, you're guessing. And if you're guessing, you might as well just throw your money out the window. You might as well burn it or just give it to charity. Really, just give it to charity. Do something good with your money. But do not by any means jump into a trade because you think that you heard this is happening and you want to get in on it. That is the wrong way. I definitely, paper trade, understand technical analysis, understand what you're doing. And if you don't have time to do that, you are not trading, you are basically gambling.
Yes, and I when you said simulations, I'm like, yes, and you plug those simulations on your channel. But if this is marketwatch.com, I do this with my students. I love this. This is for for teaching kids. And Sandra, what's so funny is that like I'm starting to work on professional development within financial gardening because I would have teachers literally taking notes because it's so broken down that they get it right. And so we do marketwatch.com. It's the game. So you can any stock in the real world is literally on this in this game. So my students and I compete. I just throw and pick whatever stock. But with them, let's pick a stock. that you think is going to make money, to make the most money. So essentially, they're traders. By the end of this quarter, I mean, by the end of the semester, not quarter in school, but you know what I mean. So they're not spending any money in this. They're learning on what a stock price is, what a buying options are. There is when you're trading a stock, and they're seeing these terms, and it's real. It's like a real portfolio. You see commissions, you see them losing money. And so if you want to do something with your kids, I always encourage people to go to marketwatch.com games, and this is a good starting point for you to do a virtual stock game in your home. Or if you are looking to do get involved with other groups, you can do it on this site as well. There's different games you can join that are public. I just have to plug that in there. We are a
Tasha,
little
look,
go
I'm
ahead.
taking notes myself. I need that for my grandboy because I have him sit in on some of our Zooms. You know, he sits in and he listens in, but it's really above his head. But that is perfect. I'm
It's
stealing.
really it's no, please do. It's really when you say I'm like, oh yeah, Market Watch. I'm on there. I got so many financial garden private games with different schools, but it's I'll be picking whatever. And they be like, how you teaching this? You at the bottom. Like, that's because whoever is the top, y'all get the best prize. I'm not gonna put myself at the top. I'm gonna put myself at the bottom. Now y'all can see what I did wrong. But before we go, I just wanted to end. I don't know if you wanted to. Oh, one more thing I wanted to end on before we go. You
Hmm.
had been talking, and you said that now we're going back to early retirement. Now you have a budget that you're living on. You've been traveling, and so you were saying that I was asking you like did trading stocks or investing in the stock market, is that funding like your living now, or how do you incorporate trading and investing in your plan with early retirement? So can you share a little bit about that?
Yeah, and I think I shared with you. Well, I left the house with a nest egg. When I say I'm risk averse, I am. That's why I'm not your girl for quick, get rich quick. That's not how I move. I had to have a certain amount of money before I left the house. I was like, wait a minute, because the last thing you want to do is be out on the road like I'm moving around the world. Financial stress is the word. You think it's bad at home when you have, all the comforts of home and your support system in place. It really gets precarious when you're moving around the globe and you don't have those built-in supports. So for anyone who's thinking that, oh, that lifestyle looks so glamorous, okay, it is. It's a nice life, but you want to make sure that you have secured yourself financially. You need to have a kitty of cash in case something happens. Tons of things can go wrong on the road, and you need money at your disposal. So making sure that before you get out of the house that you have these things in place, that so that financial stress, that's not a part of your life. That's not fun. That's not cute, girl. That's not sexy. There's nothing sexy about financial stress. Let's be clear. And so I another thing that I did was not only make sure that I had a kitty of cash, I am very deliberate. I've cut my living expenses. Living abroad, I know people don't believe this and it's hard to believe, but living abroad is way less than living in the US. So I do have an apartment in Southeast Asia. I paid $325 for that apartment a month. My utilities, light, water, internet, all of that stuff combined is less than $50 a month. So my monthly expenses, and even if you throw in food, I'm right around 550. Let's say I ball out one month.
All out.
I'm $750 a month, and I'm not, I haven't compromised my standard of living. I haven't compromised, I'm not eating cat food. I'm traveling. But what I cut those expenses so that what's left over, my income from that difference is what I invest. Had I been back in the States, most of that money would have been allocated for mortgage, car note, insurance. Everything is triple the price. Well, if you want to get your investment nest egg built up, consider minimizing some of your operating costs. And so that is one reason for me being in Southeast Asia or any place else, to be honest with you, because the US is very expensive. So just about any place, even when I was in Mexico, it was a fraction of the cost. So saving money there on just your overall operating cost, taking that money and being deliberate about making sure you invest. Automate your investments. I don't have to think about it. Girl, the money comes out of my account. I looked up one day, I was like, oh my God, I got some more shares. What? I forgot. I forgot I put this thing on a weekly drip. And so the money, it just comes out automatically. And I'm telling you, these are all things that you can do. It costs nothing. There's no fee for that. So the money comes out automatically. I pay my expenses. My investments are automated. Then when I earn a dividend, it's automatically reinvested. And so that money sits there. Any money that I make from trading, which is that in and out, I can do one or two things with that. I can throw that money up in the air and shake and shimmy under it if I want to, because that money is kind of like found money. My investments are taken care of. That thing is on automatic. Whatever I'm going to invest in a month, it's already, it's already done. I don't even think about it. But that trading money, most times I take a part of that trading money. If I have a come up on a trade, then I invest some of it. And girl, some of it I do. I shake and shimmy under it. I'm like, girl, we did good today. That was a good trade. So trading is good for that. But I don't touch my long-term investments, for that. Every now and then there are a couple of positions I have now that I'm thinking I might come out of individual stocks. But the truth is, you all, I'm an ETF girl, an index fund, index funds. Those are the ways to go. If you don't know the difference on an index fund or an ETF, it's like an old school mutual fund where it's a basket of funds. So like, why buy one stock when you can buy the whole stock market? You can buy VTI or VOO and get 500 stocks, and you don't even have to worry about the risk of one doing well or not doing well. So yeah, my long-term stuff, I don't really look at. There are a few things I might move around because Nvidia's clowning. So I might scoop some of that money off the table and do something nice. But for the most part, the trading money is what I will reinvest, or I'll shake and shimmy under that money. So that's it. Yeah.
Shimmy, shimmy, shimmy. All
You
right.
are.
So I've been showing some love to everyone that's joined in the chat and dropped some comments in. With that being said, we're gonna wrap up. I want to thank you again for coming on, and I really am glad for the last thing you shared. That's why I had to ask you that question online, because there's the opposite way of thinking about retiring early is you can have the nest egg, and then once you know you can live on a fraction of what you're spending in the US, you can have the time, and I mean you'll have the money to invest it, and then maybe be able to get into trading. You know what I mean? So now that Sandra's early retired, she's investing more, and she trading more, and even if she does trade more than what she originally was planning on, guess what? Everything she earns, she talks about how it goes back to her investing. It's a whole cycle. So thank you so much for coming on. You can find her on her YouTube channel, From Lag to Legacy, and I'll let you say any closing words.
No, thank you, first of all, Tasha, for having me. It's always look, we had fun before we even got on. So it's always a blast when we get together. It's just such a natural flow. And I so appreciate the mission. I see what you're doing. And any sister that's talking money, I'm coming to talk to. That's my talk. So if you are interested, please join us in the 1000 Black Women Brokerage Account Challenge, where we help you open up your brokerage account and get you in the stock market, baby. I'm telling you, and it's easy. It's not hard. I don't want anybody out there feeling intimidated. If you're the girl who thinks it's too late for me, I don't have enough money, I don't understand how the game works, I can never master it. Girl, we're talking to you. We're talking to you. Check this out, because we can definitely get you started and it's totally doable. And y'all stay up with Tasha, because Tasha gives you the broad view of all of it. That's how I got plugged into you, sister. Because you were talking
Okay.
about spend January. I was like, Lord, I need to be over there. About budgeting. All of it is financial literacy. I focus on investing, but you need a broad approach. You need to be looking at your finances across every sector. And so Tasha does that. And that's how we got
Thank
connected.
you. Thank you. Thank you. Well, y'all enjoy the rest of y'all Sunday or Monday, wherever you're watching in the world. And I'll see y'all next Sunday at 7 p.m. Bye.